Hey, it's Zane. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well today. In this video, what I thought I'd do today is just share with you why I believe right now Bitcoin is such a golden opportunity. And this is an opportunity that only a select few are really going to benefit from in a life-changing way. And I hope that's you. I hope you're already well on your Bitcoin learning journey, and I hope that you're stacking sats, as we say. I hope that you're putting your claim on the future of money, the future of value, the way that individuals, corporations, institutions, and even governments in the future are going to want to settle value, because we are now moving into a digital age, an age where we need a trustless form of money. And the reason for that is because money as we know it can no longer be trusted. Money is broken, okay? And I know that's a really big statement to make, and for most people who have done absolutely no study around the history of money and who have no idea what a fiat currency is, such as the Australian dollar, which essentially is backed by nothing, there are no checks and balances to the Australian dollar, or the US dollar for that matter, meaning that you and I have no idea how much of the Australian dollar is in circulation at any given time, meaning that if we're out there exchanging our time and energy for this thing that we call the dollar, and yet we have no idea what portion of the value system known as the dollar that we are a part of when we're exchanging that time and energy, we are essentially just taking a stab in the dark that the value that we're exchanging is going to take care of us into the future. And this is what happens in a debt-based monetary system, which is what we have right now. The entire system is a house of cards. The entire system is based on the issuance of credit. Again, we have no idea how much money is in circulation at any given time, meaning that the value of our stake in that system, we cannot authenticate. We have no idea of doing that. And so when you understand that, you begin to realize that what we need right now, and the time has come, particularly because we're at the end of this 55-year monetary experiment called fiat currency, which really began in earnest in August 1971 when President Nixon in the US severed the gold standard. Okay, and so from that time, the Australian dollar, which has lost around 93% of its value since then, and the US dollar and the euro, formerly all the European currencies, the pound, etc., have really been in free fall. And this has been accelerated, I guess, to the nth degree just in the past 5 years since the global health crisis. And so right now, the question really becomes, where is it that you and I and those that we care about and love, where is it that we can store our economic value? Where is it that we can store our economic energy with confidence? And I'm not here to tell you that Bitcoin is the only place to do that, but what I would encourage you to do is to go on a learning journey yourself, like I've done for myself, to study Bitcoin, to learn about what it is. And you don't necessarily have to learn all there is to know about it, but you need to know enough to know why it was created, why it was a gift to the world that was provided on the back of a chaotic time in history known as the GFC, the global financial crisis. Why is it that a month after Lehman Brothers fell in September 2008, why is it that this gift was provided to the world, this monetary protocol, which was offered to the world as a way for people to now separate themselves from the debt-based system, a system that rug pulls, a system that creates so much hardship in society, a system that has so many debt cycles, booms and busts, that is controlled by a select few people, that only a select few people at the top truly get to benefit from. And so essentially since 2008, we've had the opportunity to embrace this new decentralized, incorruptible form of money, and that's exactly what Bitcoin is. But of course, as with anything new, it takes time to catch on. It takes time for people to realize what it actually is. And you've heard the saying before, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and then they judge you, and then they want to fight you and confront you, and then eventually they join you. And if you think about every major transformational technology or protocol that has come into our lives, in the last, let's call it 100 years, all of those technologies and protocols that have come into our lives that have been here for the long term, never to go back, they've taken time for us to get there. And this is exactly what's happening with Bitcoin. You have to keep remembering that Bitcoin is only 16 years old as a protocol, and yet it's already surpassed the $2 trillion market cap globally. And no asset in history has ever failed having reached a $2 trillion global market cap. And there are reasons why Bitcoin has never failed. There are reasons why Bitcoin, any attacks that Bitcoin has had come its way, they have all failed. Hard forks, motions to ban Bitcoin, all of the judgment from the media, the financial legacy system, all the players in that system who have constantly encouraged people to shy away from Bitcoin and named it all kinds of different things, from Warren Buffett calling it rat poison squared to people saying that it's a Ponzi scheme and the government's going to ban it, and there's just a long list of things that we've had to deal with, okay, that have been narratives that are completely untrue, that have been portrayed out into the market to keep people stuck in the legacy financial system. And so I want to tie all this back to why Bitcoin is such a golden opportunity right now. And I really encourage you to be stepping up your learning right now. And if you need to be connected with people who are like-minded, because maybe you have no one in your circle who really understands or wants to understand what this is and how it can transform their life and their financial future, and why this is so important right now, why we are at the crossroads, why this is a golden window of opportunity to really change your financial life, that you can change the trajectory of your financial life today by choosing to learn about Bitcoin at a deep level and staying consistent on that journey. I truly believe that. Okay, and this is why one of the things that I did a couple of months ago is what I set up a circle community. It's called the Bitcoin Success Circle, because I wanted to bring together people who wanted to stay connected, not just with me, but other like-minded individuals who are on a similar path, who are walking this transformational path into the future, because it's not easy to do on your own. Anything new that is transformational, that has the ability to completely reshape the future of your life and those around you, it's not an easy path to walk as a pioneer in that system. And so if you're here, you're a pioneer in my mind. And the more you can stay connected, not just to the Bitcoin message, but be around other like-minded people who are on a similar journey, you will find that that's one of the most powerful things that you can do, one of the most uplifting things that you can do on this journey. So if you want to learn more about that, you'll see a link in my show notes, and you can reach out to me and I can share more about this with you. But essentially, I'm a great believer that community is one of the most powerful things to be connected to if you're wanting to stay on track on your Bitcoin journey. And I can tell you that there's nobody inside my Bitcoin Success Circle who has been worried with what's transpired over the past month or so with Bitcoin's price retracement. 25, 30%, whatever it is. And the reality is that because we spend so much time talking about mindset, okay, and time horizon, most of the people in my community, they fully understand that this price volatility, if you want to call it that, it is purely the price of admission to change the trajectory of your financial life. Okay, and it's so important to understand that. You've got to remember that Bitcoin is an adolescent. Okay, adolescents are volatile. It takes time for them to mature. And when you're pricing that volatile asset in an inflationary currency that has no checks and balances, which is exactly what the Aussie dollar is and the US dollar is, there is going to be this thing called price discovery. Okay, you go and you exchange dollars to buy into the world's first decentralized global monetary system, otherwise known as a true global free market. That's essentially what you're buying into, that everybody, all 8.5 billion people on earth are going to want to come to eventually, when they realize that the other system is a sinking financial ship. And as it sinks further and they go further and further into debt, and the wealth gap gets wider and wider and wider, and people realize that inflation is here to stay and that there's no way to protect and preserve their purchasing power based on the dollars that they're earning unless they flight to sound money, unless they get on the Bitcoin life raft. As this happens, when there's untold billions, if not trillions of dollars that start coming for Bitcoin because capital wants to find itself a safe place, a safe store of value, and people are going to realize that the only safe haven that really exists anymore is Bitcoin, because nobody can upset it, nobody can corrupt it, nobody can change it. They're going to come for Bitcoin, and as the value of your stake in the Bitcoin monetary protocol grows, because it's a finite asset, there's only so much Bitcoin, it has a hard cap of 21 million, and these waves of capital globally is going to be looking for a home. Okay, and that wave of capital equates to demand for a fixed and finite asset. And so the value of your stake in that protocol is going to increase and increase and compound and make you wealthier and wealthier and wealthier and wealthier as time goes on. And the longer you hold it, the more it's going to compound and the wealthier you're going to be. Now, my conviction may not be your conviction. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. But the reality is that it's taken me 7 years to get to this point where I absolutely know that the best place to be storing value right now is not real estate. Real estate is a maxed out asset. The 100x opportunity that the baby boomers have been the biggest beneficiaries of the past 50 years is not going to continue. It can't continue. And I have property developers who book one-on-one calls with me, who have businesses that run in the hundreds of millions of dollars per year, who already know all of the pitfalls associated with the housing Ponzi scheme. And what are they doing? They're trying to extract and rotate their capital out of that legacy system as fast as they can into the decentralized, transformational new monetary global system called Bitcoin. And this is people who have done work on Bitcoin. They've done 10, 20, 30, maybe up to 50 hours of study, read a couple of books, listened to some long-form podcasts, decided to self-educate, and this is the journey that they're on. So, this is a key moment right now, and I want you to take advantage of this. If not in terms of taking action and buying Bitcoin and stacking sats, that's something you have to decide for yourself, at the very least in learning about what this is. Maybe you need to stop listening to entertainment shows or Netflix or whatever, 2 or 3 nights a week. Maybe you should be devoting some of your time to learning about one of the most important innovations of our lifetime, which is Bitcoin. You're not going to hear about it on the mainstream news. You're not going to hear about it from your best friend at the pub. You're not going to hear about it from your financial planner or your accountant. You're not going to hear about it from your favorite politician. And so we are at a time now, whereas if you really care about your financial future, if you can see the cracks in the current system, even if you're doing great, even if you've been a massive beneficiary of the inflationary system because you have a vast property portfolio, okay, or you have a scarce desirable piece of real estate on the harbour or beachfront or wherever it might be, on paper you think you're wealthy, but I implore you to go and price that house that you think has created all this wealth for you in Bitcoin, and you'll see the absolute truth. Your house has not gone up in price. It's only gone up in price in the illusionary, unlimited, inflationary, fiat Ponzi system. If you price it in hard money, the hardest form of money we've ever had is Bitcoin. It's the only form of money on earth that has a hard cap, 21 million. When you price your house in Bitcoin over the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you will see the truth revealed. Your house price is not just falling, it's actually plummeting. And as people start to realize this, they start to realize, well, hang on a minute, if a median priced home in Australia 3 years ago was 30 Bitcoin and today it's 12, what's it going to be in 5 years from now? Is it going to be 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin? And then how much further before it's 0.5 Bitcoin? And then how much further before it's 0.1? And then how much further before it's a million Satoshis, which is 0.01 of a Bitcoin? How long is it going to be before a million Satoshis is going to be able to buy you a median priced house in Australia? And this is why I encourage my kids who are in their 20s to forget putting a 30 or 40 or 50 year noose around their neck, which we call a mortgage, which they'll never get out of. Store your value in the hardest form of money humanity has ever seen. Learn about self-custody. Put your head on your pillow at night knowing that your future is bright. Because in 10, 12, 15 years, if you can stack sats and keep on that path, you're going to wake up one day, you're going to be able to pay cash for a house. All of these people who think they're in front of you, who are going for this 5% deposit scheme and are signing up for these exorbitant mortgages, and many of them are not going to be able to service those mortgages, meaning that they're going to lose their deposit, they're going to lose their money. Some of them are going to go bankrupt. People who get this and who are choosing the path of Bitcoin instead, they're the ones who are going to be best positioned, I believe, in the next decade or so. So, probably a little off tangent here today on what I really wanted to share, but I think I got most of the generic feel of this conversation out, and I hope you got some value today. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything further you'd like me to share on this topic, but I just believe that this is a window of opportunity you don't want to miss. It's a golden opportunity. Most people are completely asleep at the wheel, have no idea what's going on, have no idea that we're in the midst of a great wealth transfer that they can be a part of. They have no idea that they're essentially buying into the new internet of money when they buy Bitcoin. They have no idea that they can take full self-custody of their own money, be their own bank, securitize their own money in a permissionless way that is completely portable, that has zero counterparty risk. Most people have no idea about this. Most people have no idea that they can go and rotate their underperforming industry super fund that's performing at 7 or 8%, which is not even close to keeping up with real inflation. Most people have no idea that they can go and rotate that into an SMSF fully compliantly, buy Bitcoin, the world's best performing asset over the past 15 years, and take it into self-custody so that they are in complete control of their retirement wealth. Is there compliance? Yes, there is. But still, if you ask me, which would you prefer, to have all of your super, your retirement account that you're looking forward to, this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that you think is going to be there for you when you get to your mid-60s, there's no guarantee of that, by the way. But you've got the option to either leave it there where there's counterparty risk and where the performance is absolutely disgraceful in an inflationary environment that we live in, or you can pull the trigger, have some conversations, and you can take back control. This is a window of opportunity that's not going to last, and I could keep going for another hour, but I'm not going to do that. I want to thank you for listening. If you'd like to take action on any of this, and I encourage you to do that, please do not sit on the fence. This window is going to close. Bitcoin is on sale right now. Please don't hesitate. If you need to book a call with me, you'll see a link in the show notes. I do one-on-one calls on Zoom every single week. You'll get tremendous value from it. Just go to the reviews on my booking page. You'll see the feedback that I get from people who I have sessions with, the clarity, the confidence, that conviction that they get on exactly what they need to do to move forward. So if I can help you in any way, please book a session with me. Other than that, have a wonderful day. I hope you got some value today. I'll see you in the next one. This is Zane signing out.